Hi, my name is Gracie Donaghy, and so first I'll be going over the first question, which is what was your favorite topic this semester? So my favorite one was microbial infections. That's what I did my final slideshow over, and I just really enjoyed it, and it definitely, I think, did give me a kind of a glimpse into nursing and like what I'll be doing, and it made me more excited for my major. Um, I did my final presentation over Lyme's disease, and I just chose that because I did have personal ties to that disease, but I really just enjoyed seeing how different bacterias affect, like, cause just certain specific illnesses. So that's why I chose that, and I really enjoyed that module. If I had to identify an unknown microbe, I would start by culturing it on an agar plate, since that is what I'm used to from the labs, and I really enjoyed it. I'd really pay attention to detail through incubation and after incubation, like measuring like how, like, far, like how big like the colonies are. Is there colonies? Are they close together? Are they separated? Like what color are they? What are their textures? Just all of those things. If that didn't get me anywhere or it couldn't be cultured, then I would check on biochemical tests like staining. So if it's like gram positive or gram negative, then that can kind of give you a diving board, like, one way or the other. So like for example, if like it came back gram positive and it had like chain, like, this is just brief, like purely example, but if it had like chain like colonies, then I could go from there and say maybe it would be strep, or like at least that would be a point to start at and grow from. So that's definitely where I'd start, and just really paying attention to detail, and obviously using a microscope. Just can't really view it without that. And yeah. For the third question, it talks about if you were talking to someone who like doesn't believe in vaccines or is hesitant to use vaccines, I would, well, first of all, a lot of my family is that way. So I've definitely heard these conversations take place before. But I would first talk about like the scientific evidence behind most of the vaccines, like how like they're proven to work, and kind of like show like the history of vaccines, I guess. Like I know in that assignment we had where we talked about like we could choose a vaccine and then like the history behind it and effectiveness and all of that stuff. I chose the flu vaccine. Um, so like it's just showing them like history behind the vaccines and things, because that like really opened my eyes too, to like see how much it really did help prevent the spread to continue. Then I would talk about how it develops your, like how it helps your immune system, how it develops it to realize like it gives you dead or weakened parts of the virus. You get that vaccine, and then your immune system will then recognize it and be able to fight it right away. So if you were to actually get that disease, then your body would be quick to react to it and get rid of it. So I would talk about that and how it helps your immune system. I would also talk about um, just like the statistics of it. I feel like that alone is a big thing, of like how many people have died from when they like didn't have the vaccine, when it wasn't around, when there wasn't a vaccine, and just like how many lives have been saved because of the vaccine. And just like how much like deadly illnesses it's prevented from like getting worse, because I know like chicken pox and measles, those were so bad before they first came out, and they were like COVID, for example, were really, really bad. Thousands of hundreds of thousands of people were dying. But when a vaccine was made, I mean, you barely ever hear about that anymore. Like, a lot of people don't even know what measles is. So, or yeah. So I just feel like kind of like that aspect of it too, and just kind of like it, obviously taking it with like a soft and kind approach and like open-minded on both ends, but just kind of telling them like my view of it and what I've learned from this class and what I've learned just from like other classes I've taken. Yeah, just like showing the importance of it and how much like it can really, and I also would want to add like it can't, like, it's not just about your life, like it's also like the people around you. Like if you don't get the vaccine and say like 50 other people don't get the vaccine, then like your community around you is more likely to get that disease. So I feel like if everyone's vaccinated, then that community is just way more likely to be able to fight the disease. So that is another aspect I'd bring up, that like it's also about the people around you. So for question 4, 2 positive and 2 negative relationships between microbes and humans. So for the 2 positive relationships, I think I'd say like digestion, like the microbes that in your stomach, like that healthy bacteria, helps with digestion and filterization and all those things in your stomach. And then the bacteria benefits from it by getting nutrients from your stomach. I'd say obviously that's like the advantage of it, is like it helps with digestion and all those things, and then obviously it has an advantage too. I'd say like the disadvantage would probably be like if it doesn't filter out like all the toxins or something like that, or if bad bacteria gets in or like something like that. The other positive relationship I would say would be like the food we eat, like yogurt, like the lab we did, bread, all those things. We obviously really benefit from those foods that we love so much. So that'd be like the advantage of it, like, and like a lot, like yogurt's good for you, like not that bread's good for you, but yogurt's good for you, and like some of those foods are really good for you. The disadvantage would be like, not all food is good. It can go bad. That bacteria isn't good anymore. That like healthy bacteria isn't good anymore for your body, things like that. I definitely got sick over some of those foods before, so that would be the disadvantage. And then 2 negative relationships. I first thought of like flesh-eating bacteria. Obviously that's really bad. There's really no advantage to it. Like the disadvantages are definitely like it can give you it can lead to death. It can like cause organ failure. I mean, it's horrible. Yeah, when I got like a small tattoo the first time, and it was during the summer, and when I saw all the things about like if you go into a lake where there's a certain bacteria, it will eat away your flesh, and I saw the pictures and I was terrified, so I never touched water. So I think it's definitely like that's the con to that. Like if you have a wound or something like that and you do happen to go somewhere where there is really bad bacteria, that's obviously really bad. Another thing is like dental bacteria. So like bad bacteria in your mouth, it can cause plaque, which is a bad bacteria. So it can cause, teeth decay, and just, that's just not good. That causes a lot of issues. And I just know from personal experience, like with my wisdom teeth and things like that, you don't want things going wrong up there, because they hurt and they mess up everything. I feel like they messed me up mentally, and like I had pain all the time. So like I feel like it's definitely great to have good oral hygiene. So that's like definitely the disadvantage of any like bacteria in the mouth that's bad. So those are the answers to that question. So I definitely say, starting off for question 5, like the 5 beneficial roles of microbes, I'd say definitely like they make the food that we love so much, like I mentioned before, like yogurt, bread, all those things. I feel like that's a beneficial role of microbes, and we wouldn't have those foods without it or without them. Then to go along with that, I would definitely say like they're very beneficial in the way that they like control like the nutrients that we get out of food. I feel like that's super important, and like I don't know, it gives me comfort knowing that like it's gonna like there's something filtering food in my body, which I know there's multiple things doing that within my body, but the microbes play like a really large role in that. And then I'd also definitely say like how they react, how like they choose how our bodies react to vaccines. To like if a cancer patient, like they determine how they're going to react to that treatment. So I feel like those are really beneficial roles. And to go along with that is like they help the development of immune systems. So they're going to make sure immune system's doing good. And like it's help making sure like it's strong and it's fighting infection. And like, yeah, to go along with that, my fifth and final one is like it helps fight infection. So like whether that's just like, you know, like a visible wound, like it's gonna help heal that, or like something internal, like an illness, disease, sickness, it's gonna help, they're gonna help heal that as well. And like talked about before with like the vaccines and just things like that, like bacteria like helps your body, it helps train your body also how to fight infection, and like they're just so helpful in our bodies to help us deal with like those things that alone we wouldn't not be able to handle, our bodies wouldn't be able to handle without our healthy microbes and healthy bacteria. So it's definitely very important. Thank you for watching.